People always imagine buying a house means finally getting some peace, a little corner of the world that's yours somewhere. You don't have to listen to the neighbors arguing through the walls or worry about a landlord raising your rent. That's exactly what I thought too. But turns out what I really bought was a front row seat to someone else's power trip, a system full of traps no one bothers to warn you about, and a neighbor named Gail who seemed to have made it her life's mission to keep an eye on every step I took. The day I moved into Crestwood Bluffs, it felt like hitting the jackpot. A simple colonial house, green shutters, a big old maple out front. Everything picture perfect and quiet. The folks here were all about keeping things neat. The neighbors would nod or wave, maybe stop for a little chit-chat. Mr. Henderson with his roses, the young couple walking their golden retriever. But over on the curve where her window had a clear view of my whole yard and driveway was Gail, and she didn't miss a thing. At first it was just glances, the sound of a curtain slipping shut every time I went to get the mail or a delivery truck rolled by. I brushed it off, told myself I was just the new guy in town and people are always a bit curious. But it didn't stop there. The first real trouble started with the trash cans. I put them out the night before pickup to save myself the hassle in the morning, and a few days later I get an email about a violation from the HOA. Down to the minute. Nobody but Gail could have been that precise. I grew up knowing how to stay calm. When things got weird, my mom always told me, the calmer you are, the less anybody can do to you. In this neighborhood, though, that calm started to feel less like armor and more like camouflage, something I had to wear just to get by. Then Christmas came around. I wanted to treat myself, finally have a place to put up lights and hang a wreath like everybody else. I bought everything, garlands, a Santa hat, you name it. And honestly, I was as happy as a little kid. For a second, it felt like living in one of those perfect holiday movies. Too bad not every Christmas movie has a happy ending. I was carrying bags of decorations out of my car when Gail marched over, pink puffer jacket zipped up, looking like she was ready to start a war. "What do you think you're doing?" she demanded, and for a second I actually wondered if I'd committed some kind of crime. "I'm just putting up some Christmas lights," I said, trying to keep my voice light. "We don't have gaudy displays here. That's against the rules." And just like that, she laid it out. No questions, just orders. And she didn't have to say it outright for me to get the message. People like you don't belong here. The way she talked about order and property values, it said more than words ever could. I remembered what my mom taught me and tried to stay cool. Turned away, hoping she'd just leave me alone. But she doubled down. "Don't you walk away from me. I'm calling the police." And let me tell you, there's a kind of fear that makes your blood run cold, especially when you're a person of color in a neighborhood like this, standing outside in the snow with a Santa hat on, knowing one phone call could turn your life upside down. I set the bags down, pulled out my phone, and started recording just in case. Gail spun a story for the 911 operator full of lies, said I was threatening causing a disturbance, maybe even stealing, just waiting for the police to show up and confirm her little script, the new guy's the problem. When the cops rolled up, Gail turned on the tears and drama. I told the truth, calm as I could manage. The officer glanced at my decorations, my car, my Santa hat, and then just sighed. Told me to keep it down and go inside. Didn't matter that I hadn't done anything. He just wanted the whole thing to disappear. But it didn't disappear for me. A few days later, the real blow landed, a violation letter from the HOA, listing 3 separate offenses from that Saturday. $500 a day, every day until I corrected the violations. I tried to appeal, sent proof, but nobody bothered to listen. To them, I wasn't a neighbor. I was a problem to be handled. Meanwhile, Gail got bolder. She started taking photos of my trash cans, my car, even my Amazon deliveries. If my bin lid wasn't closed perfectly, that was another $500. The violations stacked up. She'd figured out how to turn the rules into a weapon. But here's the thing, if you abuse power long enough, people start to notice. Neighbors who used to keep their heads down started giving me little nods. Silent. "We see you" kind of gestures. One day, Sarah from across the street stopped to say, "Don't let her get to you. She's been like that for years. Everybody knows." It was the first time I didn't feel totally alone. I got stubborn, sat down and read every page of the HOA bylaws. Buried deep in the fine print, I found my ace. Any violation reported by a committee member had to be verified by another household. Gail had been reporting me solo, and the board just rubber-stamped it. Every fine technically was bogus. And then thanks to a neighbor's security camera, I got the smoking gun video of Gail sneaking over at night, opening my bin, setting up her evidence, just so she could snap a picture for the next complaint. That wasn't just harassment, it was fraud. I got a lawyer, Arthur, who didn't play around. We sent a letter to the board, dropped the fines, apologized, removed Gail from her post, or we'd sue everyone on the board individually. That got their attention quick. The next day, the president called stammering apologies. At the emergency meeting, Arthur played the footage for everyone. Gail sat there shrinking with every frame. Her power just gone. They dropped the fines, apologized in writing, kicked Gail out for good, and using an obscure bylaw, made her pay over $10,000 to cover all costs. The very system she tried to use to crush me turned around and crushed her. After that, the street actually got quiet, but in the best way. Gail packed up and moved a few months later, and for a while I thought I'd feel nothing but victory. But to be honest, it was bittersweet. I won, but it took a piece of me, the part that thought being good and calm and neighborly was enough, that maybe if I kept my head down, I'd be left alone. But some people, no matter what you do, will see your existence as a problem. Still, things change for everybody. The kids left their basketball hoops up. Someone painted their front door yellow, probably not approved, but it looked great. Mr. Henderson dropped by with roses, his way of saying thanks, and I finally put up my Christmas lights. The big maple in my yard lit up like a beacon. Every time I looked at it, I felt proud, but also changed. Here's what I learned. You can buy a house, but you can't buy peace. You have to fight for it. Sometimes the rules don't protect justice, just the people who know how to use them. And when you stand your ground, sometimes you end up helping more than just yourself. Have you ever had to deal with someone pushing their authority too far? Where do you think the line is between protecting a community and abusing power? If you've been through something like this, or even just have thoughts about what's right and wrong, drop a comment below. Who knows, your story might help someone else feel a little less alone in their own battle.